may be seated. On behalf of Mamadou and Kristin, I would like to thank each of you for being here today to celebrate with them the love that they have for each other and the commitments that they will make in this place. You are participating in one of the happiest moments of their lives, and your presence here as family and honored guests not only heightens the beauty of this moment for them, but it also completes it. There are others who have also played an important role in their lives who are not here today, some because they couldn't travel and others who have already passed before us. And we'd like to take a moment of silence as we begin our ceremony today to remember them. So if you will, bow and let's remember them together. Amen. Who gives this woman to be married to this man?
My wife and I.
Kristin, Mamadou, congratulations.
Yeah.
And before we begin the ceremony where I speak to the two of you, I just want you to take a look at those who are gathered here before you today, family and friends. Usually during a ceremony, the bride and the groom are facing the officiant, and that will be the case today as well, but I think it's appropriate that you also take a moment to reflect on the influences and the investments that these people have made into your lives as you have made into theirs. And be thankful. And now, if you will, take each other by the hand, and if you will face me. Okay. I want to take just a moment to describe for the two of you the type of love that is required to last a lifetime. Nowhere is this type of love more needed, more challenging, and more rewarding than in the marriage relationship. This type of love is, first of all, unconditional. Unconditional love means that you will love one another regardless of the response you get in return. It is not a love that says, I will love you if, but it is a love that says, I will love you anyway. The difference between if and anyway is one word: commitment. Many couples enter marriage viewing love as simply a very important emotion. And as a result, they have a mindset that says, I will love you as long as the feeling is there. I will love you as long as you love me in return. And the problem with this type of approach is that emotions and feelings change, sometimes every day. And they make a very shaky foundation for a marriage. Wiser couples view love not simply as an emotion, but as a commitment. This means you will love each other in the good times and in the bad times and even in the slightly annoying times that all couples have. Secondly, a love that lasts a lifetime must be sacrificial. Sacrificial love is a love that puts the needs and desires of another ahead of your own. Anyone can say those three words, I love you, and I hope you'll say them to one another often. But real sacrificial love is not simply saying the right words, it is displaying the right actions. It is a love so strong that you would literally die for one another. But even more important, it is a love so strong that you will choose to live for one another. In just a moment, you will share your vows. You will commit your futures to one another. But before we turn to the future, it would be appropriate for just a moment to take a look back. From the very first days of your lives, you have each set out on a journey, which has led you to this moment where you will take the rest of your journey together. Along the way, no doubt, you have had some ups and some downs, some joys and some sorrows. A lot has happened between the first day you met and this day. And while today is a day to dream about your future, I encourage you also to think back to those first days of your relationship and the things that first attracted you to each other. That initial attraction, external attraction, grew to where you began to admire some inner qualities. and you began to make each other better people. What has happened is that you have moved from being attracted to each other to being in love, to the point where now you make each other better people, to where you are now saying you want to do this for the rest of your lives. Before you share your vows with each other, I want to remind you that you are vowing today to not let circumstances or emotions dictate your commitment. You are vowing to always be there for each other and not to divorce each other. You are vowing to have unconditional and sacrificial love towards each other. As you make these vows before your family and friends, you are making the most sacred vows two people could ever make to each other. So with that understanding, I ask you to turn and face each other. Take each other by the hands. Mamadou, if you will look Kristin in the eyes and repeat after me. I, Mamadou, take you, Kristin.
I, Mamadou, take you, Kristin.
To be my lawfully wedded wife.
To be my lawfully wedded wife.
I promise from this day forward.
I promise from this day forward.
To love you and comfort you.
To love you and comfort you.
Honor and keep you.
Honor and keep you.
In sickness and in health.
In sickness and in health.
And forsaking all others.
And forsaking all others.
I will keep myself only for you.
I'll keep myself only for you.
So long as we both shall live.
So long as we both shall live.
And now, Kristin, if you will look Mamadou in his eyes and repeat after me. I, Kristin, take you, Mamadou.
I, Kristin, take you, Mamadou.
To be my lawfully wedded husband.
To be my lawfully wedded husband.
I promise from this day forward.
I promise from this day forward.
To love you and comfort you.
To love you and comfort you.
Honor and keep you.
Honor and keep you.
In sickness and in health.
In sickness and in health.
And forsaking all others.
And forsaking all others.
I will keep myself only for you.
I will keep myself only for you.
So long as we both shall live.
So long as we both shall live.
Finding the rings. Okay, here they are. The rings that I hold in my hand will very soon be on your fingers. And they are much more than a piece of jewelry to tell other people you are married. They are a piece of jewelry to remind you that you are married and to remind you of the vows that you have just made. The unending circle is symbolic of the unending and unconditional love that you have vowed to one another. These rings are made out of fine and tested metal, and that metal is symbolic of the sacrificial love that you have vowed to one another. So as you wear these rings, you wear your vows. Mamadou, will you take Kristin's ring? Place that on her ring finger of her left hand, and repeat after me. Look at Kristin and repeat after me. I give you this ring.
I give you this ring
as a symbol of my vow.
as a symbol of my vow.
And with all that I am.
And with all that I am.
And all that I have.
And all that I have.
I honor you.
I honor you.
Kristin, if you will take Mamadou's ring, place that on his ring finger. Look him in the eyes and repeat after me. I give you this ring.
I give you this ring
as a symbol of my vow.
as a symbol of my vow.
And with all that I am.
And with all that I am.
And all that I have.
And all that I have.
I honor you.
I honor you.
Mamadou and Kristin, because you have publicly professed your love for each other and you've made your commitments to one another before your friends and before your family, it is my great honor and privilege to pronounce that you are now husband and wife. Mamadou, you may kiss your bride. Okay. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is once again my privilege and honor to present to you for the very first time, Mr. and Mrs. Ba.